Shalom Israel, and welcome to another episode of Precepts Around the Clock. My name is Micaiah. This lesson is called, If You Fail to Plan, You Plan to Fail. Pretty much what we're going to go into is having a idea of what we really want to do, and implementing some type of goals, a strategy toward attaining that goal, getting that mission accomplished. This is all centered around, our spiritual walk, business, family, marriage, so on and so forth. It's all about us having an idea of where we're trying to be. What's the vision? You know what I'm saying? Where are we headed to? What's our goal? And what's the necessary procedures toward getting there? So nonetheless, we're gonna dive into the scriptures, beginning with the book of Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 27. Get there. So this is the book of Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27. It says, "Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thy house." So it says to prepare. Before you do anything, before you set out to get something accomplished, you got to have an idea and know the factors of what it's going to take to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's us building up this church, whether it's us starting a business, who's included in this business? Who's included within this idea that you have? What's it going to take? What's the necessary steps that it's going to take to get this goal accomplished? You can't just jump into anything without knowing the setbacks, knowing the factors of what can possibly go wrong and the things that could possibly go right. What's the risk that I have to take? What am I losing if I go out here and I do whatever it is that I'm going after? What am I gaining? So these are all the questions that we got to ask ourselves before we step into anything, even in this truth. It says to make your calling sure. So the only way you can make your calling sure is if you know what you're getting into. Before you commit to the Most High, you got to know, what does the Most High really require from you? You say, oh yeah, I'm doing the works of the Lord. What is it that's required of you from the Most High before you agree to what you're agreeing to? Same thing, because, during the time we made a covenant with the Most High. And the Most High said, don't make an agreement with me and not follow through. So know exactly what you're getting yourself into. If you're going into business with somebody, if you're getting into a relationship or a marriage with somebody, know what you're getting into and come up with a plan. That's what it's about. So let's read it from the top. The book of Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27. To prepare thy work without. So take the necessary time to really just write it out. Really be specific on what it is that you're trying to attain or get accomplished. What's the factors, if it's finances that you got to get in order, if it's your spirituality, so on and so forth, if it's your mental, get all of those factors in line. That's what the scriptures say. Be prepared. So let's not freestyle our life. Let's not move and just go with the motions. When things happen, it's going to happen. That's not scriptural. Most High says to always be prepared. And we're going to find that throughout the scriptures. Preparation is a key factor towards success in this walk. And so, let's finish that. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 27. Bad, y'all. It's a little windy out here. So it says, prepare thy work without and make it fit for thyself in the field. And then it says, and afterwards build thy house. So once you got a clear plan, once you got a clear idea of what's supposed to happen and all the factors, everything that can, that's required from you, now you can begin building. Now you got an idea. Okay, I calculated how much it's going to cost. I calculated exactly, what I'm getting myself into. I don't have the factor of everything that could possibly go wrong. That's not up to me. That's up to the Most High. But I do know, if this thing does go wrong, what I can do to put myself back into position. If it does come to that, you know what I'm saying? In marriage, things aren't always gonna go right, but I know the proper things to do in order to get back on track. In a church, things aren't gonna go according to plan all the time. But nonetheless, I know what to do to get back on track. So are we prepared for those type of things? Are you prepared for the setbacks? Are you prepared for the adversity that's in front of you? When starting that endeavor, when starting that journey that you're about to take, are you aware of these things? And so that's, what we're focusing on. But let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 37. And let's read verse 16. Get there. So it says, let reason go before every enterprise and counsel before every action. So before you make any major decision within your life that includes yourself or even others, make sure you get proper counsel. Make sure you get sound advice, good advice. Don't just go to anybody. Don't just go to any random person. But make sure you're getting good information. Once you put that plan together, make sure you take it to somebody, an advisor. Make sure you take it to somebody that really knows what they're doing. If it's a financial idea or endeavor that you have, go to somebody that knows about money, that knows about finances, and present it to them. Like, this is my idea. This is something I want to get done. And they'll show you, like, you know what? I see where you're headed, but this is where you're going to go wrong. This is where you're going to fall short. So you might want to tweak this out. You might want to do this. Because if you just do things on your own accord and you fall short, now you don't have nobody looking out for you. You could have prevented something, a major setback, by just going to the right people. Even in this walk, you feel like you want to do something. You about to go out and do something. It could be your soul on the line. And if you don't go to the right person, you might go to the person that's going to, stroke your ego or tell you what you want to hear. And that's the person that's detrimental to your health. That's detrimental to your walk. So make sure you go to the right person and make sure you get counsel before you make a decision. Make sure you get good advice before anything that you do. So, put the plan together and get go to the right person to confirm it for you. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 28. So it says, the book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 28, it says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? So that's one thing when I just observe my people, the issues that we have is that we start a lot of stuff that we never finish. A lot of us brothers, we got ideas, man, we should do this. And we never follow through. We might do it for like 1 week, do it for a couple of days, and then, months later, you'd be like, hey, what happened with the whole little thing you was doing? You know what? Pockets was tight, or, just I don't have time for it no more. All right, well, Christ doesn't really take that lightly for you starting things that you don't finish. He even talks about that in the scriptures. He says, before you do anything, make sure you have the means, the sufficient means to finish it. You know what I'm saying? You want to get married? Make sure you have the means to complete this marriage. And I'm talking about all the way through, till death do us part. There is no backing out. There is no, I made the wrong decision. Nah, you got to commit your ways all the way to the end. So now, before you make these commitments, are you going to follow through? Are you going to do what it takes to get the mission accomplished? When you commit to the walks of the ways of the Lord and really put your hand to the plow, are you going to really go all in? Or are you going to be, 1 foot in and 1 foot out? We already know how Christ feels about people that's lukewarm. And we're going to get into that a little bit later, but the only way for you to succeed is for you to be all in on whatever it is that you're going for, whether it's business, whether it's marriage, whether it's relationships, whether it's finances, whether it's your job, the works of the Lord. You have to be fully committed to it. You can't be half stepping. Nothing in this life. And so that's what it all boils down to. But he says, before you build a tower, before you get to building, you got to calculate the factors. Are you able to finish what you start? And we're going to finish Luke 14, verse 28. It says, but which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, lest happily, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him. They begin to mock you. It may not be in the beginning, but you build up a reputation for not finishing stuff. And people aren't going to rely on you for nothing because you don't finish what you start. You agree to things that you never follow through on. And people lose trust. And once people lose trust in you, it's hard to get trust back. Once your wife loses trust in you, it's hard to get that trust back. Once your children lose trust in you, it's not easy to get that back. So it's about us being, men of our word. It's about us really committing. When you say you're going to do something, are you going to follow through? If you're not going to follow through, don't agree to it. One thing, the Lord don't take it lightly when you flake on his works. When you agree, we know what happened when the people that agreed to come to the marriage. We know that's talking about the kingdom and the works that you put in. You agreed to this marriage, and then you end up flaking on the wedding. That's what a lot of us do with these works. We end up saying, we're going to put this work in. We're going to make all this stuff happen. And you didn't calculate the cost of what you're really getting yourself into. And now you flaking on the marriage. You flaking on the ceremony. And what do you think? How do you think Christ is going to feel about that? So that's what we got to consider. Calculate the cost. How much is it going to cost you to build this tower? This tower is whatever it is that you set up for yourself. It could be anything. This business, this church, this movement. Do you know what you're getting yourself into? What's your credit score looking like? I'm talking to my boy Aaron. How's your credit looking? Are you building enough? How's your network? What's your net worth? How are your finances looking? If it's not looking good, then you gotta, reconsider what you're doing. How's your spirit looking? How's your mental? Are you prepared for the toll that it's going to take on your mind? Think about those things before just being hasty and just jumping into something quick. That's what the Most High is talking about. So now let's finish it. It says, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. Don't be that dude. Or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able to win, able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. So even in altercations, is this something that you want to get into? Is this a battle that you want to take on? Choosing your battles wisely. Choosing your endeavors wisely. Is this something that you really are serious about? Dwell on those things and write it out. And sometimes you got to weigh it. When you see it on paper, I'm not really serious about this. Or at least you came to that conclusion before you agree to something that you're not really about. Before you go out to war and now you're fearful because you agree to something that's not really in your heart. You're on the front line, you're on the street corners, and you're not really even about this walk. You in soldier's class and you're not even really serious about what you do. Most High doesn't take that lightly. So it's important for whatever it is that you're doing, that you're serious about it. That you consider the factors. That you consider when you go to war, you can lose your life. When you're on those corners, anything can go down. Knowing all these things and weighing it out. But now also weighing in what you can gain from doing the works of the Lord. Not just thinking about the negatives, but also thinking about the positives too. Seek you first the kingdom and all shall be added to you. So also knowing okay, I know the risk that I'm taking. But in business, there's two types of risk. There's speculative risk and there's pure risk. A pure risk is just, regardless, it's going to be a setback. It's going to spiral downward. But a speculative risk, meaning it's a possibility that things can go wrong, but it's also a possibility that things can go right. And so that's what this walk is about. Knowing that, okay, things are inevitably going to go wrong in some type of way, but also things are going to go right. And I'm aware of these things, and I'm still going to keep moving, and I'm still going to handle my responsibilities, and I'm prepared for it. That's what it's about. Are you prepared for the setbacks? And are you prepared for the blessings too? So now let's go to let me see. Let's go to the book of I want to finish verse 33. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. That's what Christ is talking about. Meaning, before you decide to follow Christ, you need to know what you're getting into. And if you got all this other stuff on your mind, I'd rather you go do that before you decide that you're going to follow me. I'd rather, if you got a marriage to tend to, go handle that. If you got some land to tend to, go handle that. But when you say you going to commit to my works, commit to my works, or I'm going to really have a problem with you. I'm going to really have an issue with you. I'd rather you be cold or hot. But if you lukewarm, I'll spill you out of my mouth. He said, no man that putteth his hand to... Let's go there. Luke chapter 9, verse 62. There's no half-stepping in whatever you do. If you half-stepping, look at your life. You'll see. It's because of that. And Jesus said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of God. That means you agreed to something, but now you're looking back. Now you having second thoughts. Now you thinking about taking that blue pill after you already done took the red pill. You done took the red pill. You done woke up to everything that's going on in this world. You done woke up to all the things that could possibly go wrong, and then now you like, dang, they look like they having fun. You didn't add that to your plan once you committed to the works of the Lord. You didn't consider what can go wrong. You didn't consider the adversity that you was going to go through. Now you having second thoughts. Now you having second thoughts about that relationship that you in with that woman that you thought she was attractive, and now she's tripping today. Now you second guessing, like, dang, should I have got married? But you didn't really try her out for from the beginning of the relationship. You didn't really ask the right questions. Ladies, oh, she picked the wrong man. You ain't really asked the right questions. And now you locked in for life. You didn't really plan accordingly. We having financial issues in the household. You didn't plan accordingly. This is what the Most High is talking about. It says, look, you put your hand to this plow, I'm going to need you to start digging. I'm going to need you to put your work in. Don't put your hand on the plow and think about what your life was before you started putting the work in. I'd rather you stay what you was doing. Stay there. Stay cold or stay hot. But don't be 1 foot in the trenches and 1 foot on the curb or whatever, however that analogy is supposed to be. Put the work in. Don't be half-stepping on your business. Or you want to start a business, you got to be all in on the business. You got to be there fully dedicated to whatever it is that you're building. Your family, you got to be dedicated to the family. And us men of the Lord, we got to figure out how to balance all of those things too. We got to find balance. Are you prepared to weigh multiple things and wear multiple hats? Are you prepared to lead? This is what Christ is talking about when we come to preparation. If we trying to be men of the Lord, we trying to be men of the Most High. Well, knowing, okay, you decide that you want to serve the Lord, it says prepare thyself for temptation. Are you ready for the adversity? But I don't want this to be just a negative thing, not just setbacks, not just adversity. Are you ready for the blessings too? Are you ready for the come up too? Are you ready for the good things that's about to transpire too? Do you believe those things? Because you got to believe that in order to get through whatever it is that you're going to go through. You got to believe about that blessing in order for you to get through that fire of adversity. So now let's go to the book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And also on that note, I also added a definition for when we put a plan together, it's important for us to be thorough. Not just in our plan, but in our life. What does it mean to be thorough? When I looked it up on Google, it says complete with regard to every detail, not superficial or partial. Not superficial or partial. Not just a little here and I'm going to, get to it when I get to it. Nah, it means when you're thorough, I'm going to make sure that the job is done. When I say I'm going to be a provider for my family, I'm going to make sure my family eats. When I say I'm on the front lines with my brothers, I'm going to make sure my brothers are protected. When I say I'm going to be a reader on the corners, I'm going to make sure I'm going to be the best reader that I could possibly be, or the best orator that I could possibly be for that given moment. Thorough. That's the level that we're trying to get to. Christ was thorough. When the Most High created everything, he said it was good. That means he was thorough. And he said, I said you're gods, and all you are the children of the Most High. So if he's thorough, how should we be? That means our planning and our execution has to be thorough to the T. We got to be on top of things. Meaning, when people think about you, they know this man gonna handle his responsibilities. This man's gonna do what it takes. He's gonna handle his business. When the other nations, it said the other nations shall see your light. Meaning the other nations should know us for handling business. Meaning when we hire Israelites, it's gonna get done. I'd rather hire an Israelite than I would any other person, because they have integrity and they're thorough. That's the reputation that we want to build. We want to be known for these things. Your wife should know, okay, she might be a little worried, but not fully worried, because she knows that you're thorough, that you're going to handle your responsibilities. She may not understand every aspect, every factor of everything that's going on, but she knows that you're handling your business. Your children know. When you go out there, you handling business. Your nation know that. The Most High know that. So that's the level of where we're trying to get to in planning, preparing for that. We're not going to be perfect from day one, but it's us preparing to be perfect. We're working toward perfection. Right now, you might be sloppy. You might be late all the time. You might procrastinate all the time. You might be lame, but you don't got to be lame forever. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of stuff that you probably got to work on. You might be fearful, slothful, lazy. You might oversleep all the time and complain all the time. But you don't got to do that tomorrow. You don't got to do that this next hour. You can literally sit back. You know what? I don't like where life is right now, and really write out how you want your life to be. How do you want things to be for yourself and for your family and for your nation? And work toward it. Be thorough. And we're going to see that. Book of Habakkuk chapter 2. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So he said, write the vision and make it plain. Plain meaning clear. Whatever your plan is, don't say, oh, I want to have a successful business. What does that mean? I want the church to be successful. I want a beautiful family, and I want my family to be happy. What does all that mean? It's just words that sound good. I want to be successful. I want to thrive. I want to have riches. Whatever it is that you want. That's all words until you really write it out of what it's going to take to get these things. I want to be happy. What is happiness? I want to be righteous. What is righteousness? See, like it's like things. Cause like It's a lot of stuff that we say, but where's the application and what does it really mean? And do we really know what it means? Or is this just wordplay of things that sound good, that sound pleasant to say within our conversation? This is what the Most High said. He said when these prophets was putting these prophecies together, he said make it thorough, make it plain. So that way the next reader could understand what you're talking about. Do you understand what you're talking about? Be clear, be concise. You don't got to drag it all out, but be thorough. 2 months from now, this is where I'm trying to be. That means every day I have to do this. That means every week I have to meet this deadline in order to make my monthly or meet my monthly expectation. That means from 12 months from now, I met my annual expectation. I got that goal accomplished. What's the factors? I want to be here by this time. What's the steps in order for me to get here? And let me be clear about it. That means in order for me to do this, I got to have these type of finances. So I got to make sure my bread is right for this particular time. So let me get these finances right. That way, when this time does present itself, I'm prepared. I'm ready. Okay, we about to step into this particular season. It's Passover season. Let me prepare my spirit because we might have some little setbacks. Let me make sure I'm right. Let me remove all this leavening within myself and be prepared. It's all kind of stuff, but knowing the factors, knowing ourselves, and knowing what it is that we desire. Why are you in this truth? Why are you in this walk? Why do you feel the Most High called you? What's your reason for it? Is it just to fill up a seat? Is it just to be here? It may not be the person, the brother that's on the corner, that's preaching and all that. You may not be that brother. You might be just a reader. But if you reading with all your power, with all your might, that's powerful. You whatever your role is, that's what it's about. But do you know your role? Do you know what part do you play in this movement? As long as you know and you're doing it thoroughly, then we can't go wrong. Are we clear about where we're trying to go? Are we clear about who we trying to be? It says that I die daily. We killing off that old man every single day. Who you are today, you don't gotta be that tomorrow if it's a negative aspect of yourself that you don't like. If it's negative traits that you feel like you gotta work on, you don't gotta have those same traits tomorrow. You can develop that. If you're not confident, you can work on your confidence. Well, confidence is just repetition. It's more so you just being sure about your abilities. You may not be a confident orator, speaker. Okay, that's just time and effort of you seeking to do that. You may not know your scriptures like that. You see it, but you're intimidated because you see brothers on YouTube, but not knowing them brothers put their time in. They prepared every day. They had a lesson prepared, and so much that now it's engraved in their mind, and they can just go off the dome. But what did it start with? Being prepared. If they ask me this question, I know how to respond. Didn't the scripture say that? Having a response for every question that they may have? That's what it's always about. Most High said 6 days make work be done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath. He said, I gave you 6 days prepared. I gave you the 6th day. Get all your work, do everything that's necessary. Be prepared. It's all about preparation. We see what happens when we don't prepare. We see what happens when we agree to something and we don't follow through. Israel agreed to serve the Most High, said we're going to be his God. He was going to be our God, we're going to be his people. What happened when we went against that agreement? And we didn't really know what we was getting into. Now we end up in this negative setback because we agreed to do what the Most High said and we didn't follow through. Most High followed through, but we didn't follow through on our word. But let's read the book of Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. Says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. So it says, go to the ant. Look at the work ethic of ants and really observe how they work together. the camaraderie, the charity. When an ant has a setback, they don't just leave the ant behind, even if he's injured. He might lose some limbs. They come back for him. But they prepare for the seasons. That's the ultimate thing that I want to talk about. Ants are prepared. Before any weather conditions start to change, they already have their food stored up. Before any setback happens, they already had their food. They're already ready. Before anything happens. When winter comes, they already under the soil, eating, doing well. Prepared. When it's raining, they already know how to seek shelter when it's time. So it's saying we should have that same mindset. We shouldn't be panicking when things don't go in a certain type of way. Even in setbacks, that's going according to plan because you're prepared for it. You're prepared for setbacks, so how can you be worried about it? A setback is something that's going according to plan because you know in this walk you take L's. Adversity, you're prepared for it. You're not panicking, but you know, okay, it's a little stress, but nonetheless, I knew this was going to happen. You know adversity is inevitable. So why are we panicking? Why are we worried? When the disciples was going to Christ and when it was on the boat, they're like, help us. They was panicking. And Christ said, y'all, where's y'all faith at? He calmed the storm. Christ was prepared. His disciples wasn't prepared for the storm during that time. But we got to stay prepared. That should be in our plan. The storm. Even when in marriage, prepare for the storm. When she just tripping for no reason. When you experience your setbacks as a man for no reason. L's just for no reason. Just be prepared for it. Prepare for the good and prepare for the bad. We see our forefathers did that. Let's go to the book of Genesis chapter 41, verse 28. Says, this is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, and there shall rise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. So now, I don't want to read the whole thing. You can read that on your own. Actually read the whole chapter of Genesis chapter 41. But long story short, Joseph had a dream. No, not Joseph. Pharaoh had a dream. Joseph interpreted the dream and let him know. In Egypt, you're going to have 7 years of plenty, meaning your increase is going to be incredible, but don't just be frivolous with it. Just because things are going good, don't forget, following that is going to be 7 years of famine. There's going to be 7 years of setbacks throughout the entire world. So prepare while things are going good, while it's all smiles, while the water's flowing, while the cattle, where everything's just grazing through the grass and all of this type of stuff, while everybody's eating, prepare for what's to come. Prepare for the setback. Prepare for things to turn negative and flip just like that. Don't think it's going to be like this forever. Don't think it's just going to be good forever because it's balance. It's going to be good and it's going to be bad. So be aware of that. And so now we see that Joseph ended up assisting Pharaoh in that, and this increased Egypt's economy during this time period. And so much that every nation had to come to Egypt. And they had to come to report to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh's economy boosted just from that one decision. It's one decision that could change your whole life. But that one decision, what happened? They were prepared. So we see how deep preparation gets. When we don't prepare for the Sabbath, we running up and down the street, running up and down aisles at the store, panicking, hoping that we beat the sun, when you could have did everything that you needed to do yesterday, the night before the Sabbath. You panicking in your relationship because things is not going how you want it to go because you didn't prepare. And that's what it all boils down to. You didn't prepare. You didn't put a plan together. You went off of emotion. You went off of how you felt during that time. And so you chose the wrong person. You made a hasty decision. What happens? In this world, we make hasty decisions, but now you got to learn from it. Now you got to deal with it. And so now, based off of where you at in life right now, what's the plan now? Based off of the resources that you have, the cards that you dealt, how you gonna play them? How do you, while you in this moment of adversity, how you gonna get back to the good moments now? You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Matthew 25, verse 1. It says, then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 of them were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourself. There's a lot of us. Some of us are prepared for that moment. And that moment could be the greatest moment in your life. But the fact is, you're not prepared for it. It could be a life-changing moment, but you didn't prepare for it. That opportunity that you've been praying about, that you've been begging the Most High about, is going to present itself. And then you just flop on it because you wasn't prepared. The Most High gives you, and he does hear your prayers, and he does answer your prayers, but the issue is sometimes those prayers come and go because you weren't prepared. You have a plan for it, for when that prayer does get answered. You was just talking out of emotion because of how you was feeling in that moment. But then there's others that pray to the Most High, and they put a plan together for when their prayers get answered. Those are just those people that's confident in the Lord. In the midst of their adversity, they know, okay, this is my season of adversity, but I do know the Lord hears me. And when that time does present itself, I'm going to be prepared for that blessing too. I'm ready for when that blessing presents itself. Some people fumble their blessings because they're not ready. Because you might be wilding in the setback. You still dwelling on the negative. You still dwelling on everything that went wrong rather than focusing your mind and putting a strategy together for when things go right. And knowing how to flip it, how to make things, how to increase on your blessing. We don't think about those things. We always have a scarcity mindset. We stay in the negative. And that's why we remain where we at. But when we know, okay, the Most High said it's an easy thing for the Lord to make a poor man rich. It's not just finances. It's talking about your spiritual health. It's talking about your overall physical health, financial wealth, all of these things. It's easy for the Lord to patch up these things. Now, Most High wants to see what you do. That's what this walk is about. Most High can easily step in like, hey, reward him. Reward him. Just like that. You could be going through your most vicious aspect of your life, and the Most High's like, yeah, it's time. I'm going to hook him up. But I'm going to see what he does with this blessing. Some people get the blessing from the Most High and end up right back to where they was at. He prayed to me for financial stability. I'm gonna give it to him. See if he know what to do with it, though. Give him 10 bands. See what he does with 10 bands. Give him 5. Give him 15. I'm gonna let this 15 be a lesson because he's constantly praying to me for money, and he don't even know what to do with the money that I'm about to give him. He gonna blow it. I'm gonna use this as an example for him too. Maybe next time he'll be prepared. Yeah, but nonetheless, let's go. This particular chapter is about being prepared. When Christ comes back, make sure your spirit is right. Make sure your actions and your ways are correct. So that way you're not looking for oil. You're not asking people for them scriptures last minute. You're not looking for Christ last minute. Nah, you're prepared. You're ready. You're ready for when things go right now. You're ready for the blessing. You're ready for the success and the salvation. You're not panicking when that sky cracks open. Because look, I've been waiting for this moment this whole time. I've been doing my works. I knew this moment was going to happen. I didn't know the time, but I knew this moment was going to happen. because I prepared for it. I read. I trimmed my oil. Let's read. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 43. It says, but know this, that if the good man of the house had known and would watch the thief would come, then would he have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. So it said, anybody, you own a house, right? If I had told you I'm about to rob you, I'm gonna rob you at 8 o'clock. You're gonna prepare, you're gonna make sure that everything's in line, you're gonna make sure you got your ADT system, your ring alarm, you're gonna make sure you got some guns, whatever. I'm coming, I'm about to snatch everything in your crib. You don't think I'm playing, I'm taking everything. Think I'm playing? There's some people that might think I'm fronting and then end up lacking because I snatched all the stuff that was in their crib. That's what Christ is saying. He's like, in this analogy, I'm equivalent to a thief. And you know I'm coming. I'm telling you that I'm coming. And it's in your best interest to prepare. So when I do arrive, you're not caught lacking. You're not worried. You know exactly what's going to happen. This book is telling you exactly what's going to happen. It's giving you the preparation. It's giving you the plan. The Most High gave you the game plan. Now you putting your actual plan together is your response. How are you going to respond to when things transpire? Because one thing, when the Lord already declared it, it's going to happen. He says salvation is coming, it's going to happen. He says destruction is coming, it's going to happen. Now there's nothing you could do to reverse those things. But now how do you maneuver through those things? That's where your plan comes in. How do you navigate through this world? How do you wise up and outsmart this system that's trying to destroy you? That's where your plan comes into it. This world's trying to keep families divided. It's trying to keep your children at odds against you. It's trying to keep your wife at odds with you. It's trying to keep your brothers at odds with you. How do you navigate through all that? Are you prepared for that? Because it's going to increase more. Are you ready? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Let's get this last scripture, the book of Psalms, chapter 37. And let's read verse 5. It says, commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. When you put a plan together, you laying out the factors, you laying out everything that can go wrong and also everything that can go right. But also the belief that the Most High is going to guide you regardless. You're going to have setbacks. Some things ain't going to go according to plan. But it is according to the scriptures. It may not go according to your plan though. But make sure you at least know how to navigate. That you know how to strategize. That you know how to maneuver. That you know how to adjust. That you're prepared to adjust. That you're aware of the factors. Before any enterprise, did you speak to the right people? Did you get the right counsel? You got the right information? Did you receive the game? Before you do anything. That's what we're discussing. You say you want to do the works of the Lord. Do you know what you're getting yourself into? It looks glorious on YouTube. You see brothers, getting their praise, which is beautiful because they put in their works in. The people are going to give them their respect for the works that they do. But do you know the stuff that these brothers are going through? Do you know the adversity that these brothers is going through? That got them to this glorious state. We read about David. Read about the adversity that David went through. The adversity that Christ went through. The adversity that the prophets went through. They went through setback after setback. But one thing They were prepared for it. Christ was prepared for everything that was going to happen. He told you, this is what's going to happen. I knew Judas was going to betray me. Matter of fact, the first person that dips his hand is the person that's going to go according to this plan. This is what's going to happen. You betraying me is going according to plan because I knew it was going to happen. Peter, you denying me is going according to plan because I knew it was going to happen. Don't even trip, though. I forgive you right now. So Christ said, you see these miracles you see me do? He said, there's going to come a time you're going to be able to perform greater miracles than these. This includes preparation and being aware. Being aware of the world and the direction of where the world is headed. Not being caught lacking. Not being caught worried and afraid and dwelling on all our setbacks and all our ills. You got the ability to change. And it all comes with preparation. Really strategizing. What is your plan? You know what I'm saying? What's the plan? So you know what? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Once again, this is a lesson brought to you by Believers of the Way. My name is Micaiah. This is Precepts Around the Clock. And with that, I'm gonna say, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.